So one thing GSCS prides itself on is the lore and the depth of it as well, and something that's argued upon so much and to a very unholy and extensive amount is who is the greatest of all time, the greatest to ever do it in the GSCS. And for now, I want to focus on the open era before we get into the closed era. And of course, in the open era, there are a couple different people you can talk about. I mean, the main 3 or 4 of course is Not Solar, who played since season number 4. He won 2 championships. You have Clouds, who played since season 5, won 2 championships. Xenix played since season 7, won a championship and was the MVP of that season. Legacy, of course, played since season 7, made the GSCS season 7 championships, and then won with Scythe and Solar in season 8. So I mean, first of all, who is your pick for the greatest of the GSCS Open Era, you being here since... Okay.
Starts with a Z and ends with an X. Xenix, of course. I mean, come on. I mean, even though he's there for 2 seasons, he has just had the most impact for a player. And I think you gotta take a look at that, of how much you can. When you look at every other team, they have players around their same level. Xenix had to play with me. I mean, come on. I mean, he is able to play with anyone really and then make an impact and continue to keep playing at the very best. I've also never seen a player to take a break. I remember there was a period where he took a small break and then he came back and he was still himself. He continues to play and he's always still there. And of course, I might be a little biased, but I think he was one of the best players, if not the best player that I've seen in GSCS, or just from looking at it. I think he was just incredible. He's so mechanical. I mean, he makes a big impact. I mean, he can do anything on the field that you ask him to do.
Yeah, I mean, Xenix had the ability to just like make plays happen from literally anywhere. That was like his specialty. He could do anything from anywhere and make it work. That was his thing. So, see, my entire thing is, of course, being the owner of Blizzard Esports, it's only right. Plus, this is, in my opinion, the kind of the common sense move. I want to go with Not Solar. A lot of people are debating between Clouds and Not Solar. I don't know why Legacy is on this list, but between Clouds and Not Solar, let's line up their credentials real quick. So, first of all, Solar played since season 4 in 2021. That was like March or February 2021. He's a 2-time GSCS champion. He won in 2021 season 5 with Blizzard Esports after he got traded from Team Lunar, and he won in season 8 with Blizzard Esports 2 years later in 2023. So he won, yes, he won in 2 different areas. Of course, he was a 3-time runner-up MVP in season 4, 5, and 8, and of course as well he was the GSCS season 7 all-season event champion. That was him. Now let's look at Clouds. He played since season 5. He played 3 seasons. He's a 2-time GSCS championship winner. He won twice in a row. He won season 6 and season 5. He's a 1-time MVP, and he's the GSCS season 2022 season 7 event 4 finalist when he briefly started on that Blizzard Frost roster alongside Devo and Solar. So of course, Clouds, he won the 2 championships. He won back-to-back. He won a championship MVP, something that Solar didn't do. But in my opinion, it's Solar, and I think Solar clears everybody on this list, and I'll tell you why. Solar came into this league. He was way too young. He was a child, like a really young child. He fooled everybody. That's how young he was, and he won his first championship with Blizzard Esports. He came in and he won with Blizzard alongside Clouds. In 2021, he got benched in season 6. He played in season 7. He was one of the best players in the all season with Blizzard Frost with Devo and Caesar in season 7. Couldn't make the championship. Had a couple good runs. He made the finals in season 7, event 4, and he made the event 1 finals or the semifinals as well. And then of course in event number 8, he got I built a roster around him consisting of Legacy and Scythe. Legacy, the star from that Blizzard Eternal roster, and Scythe, the up-and-comer, and they made 2 semifinals in a row. I picked them up in event 2. So they made event 2 semifinals, event 3 semifinals, lost. You casted one of their losses, actually, Icepanther. And then they made the major and won the grand final very proudly. By the way, we won the semifinals against Guacamole Gang. We won the grand finals against Whale, Jury, Juro, and Hexy, and I know Tartan was on there somewhere. we were the victors. We came in, we won the championship. It was amazing. And I was so happy. Like, I literally cried because that was the first time since June of August of 2021 that Blizzard Esports got a major bracket final victory. That's my personal pick. I mean, does that make sense to you, or are you still hung on that Xenix pick?
I always pick Xenix, but you have a lot of the facts. And honestly, Xenix has only been there for 2 seasons, and if he was there longer, honestly, I probably could have a better convincing argument. But yeah, I mean, you have a lot of great players. I mean, honestly, I probably would have said Legacy, because I always feel like Legacy rivaled Xenix. And Legacy was a really good player. That would have been my second pick by far. But yeah, again, Not Solo was a great player. I do remember there were a couple of times that we had to talk about over a team, like, you know, who to worry about, what teams to kind of like keep an eye on. And you know, your teams were always there, and those players too were always in the talk and in the mix. So yeah, it makes sense for you, but I will always stick to my boy Xenix. I mean, come on. I mean, I have to. You know, he is still on our team till this day. For all these years, he is the longest lasting player on our team. So I have to.
Let me ask you this. If we were talking about the greatest to ever do it, or the best to do it from season 7 to 8 only, who would you have? Because then it opens up a little bit, because then you can allow Plexi, you can allow Vision, you can allow Caesar, you can allow obviously your guys.
I would still say Xenix. I would still say Xenix.
Who would be your second?
He's just always been there. My second, I would honestly.
There's Legacy. That's like a choice. There's Extreme to Win.
It's always been Xenix and Legacy. I would probably have gone Legacy and then also maybe Vision in the talk. I mean, there were so many good players that we would talk about, and I just felt like that on our team it was Xenix to worry about, and then I feel like, you know, on other teams would be just one player. I think the only team that we really were like everyone could be a threat was your team.
Let me ask you this, a really short recap as well on what kind of happened to Kiyohaku in that season 8 team. I mean, you guys came, you won season 7, a couple months later season 8 came, and it felt like one of those hangover seasons, and you guys didn't do too well. I mean, you did make the major because it was top 12, so you guys probably were like the number 10 seed in that major. And then lost in your first round. So tell me a little bit about that season 8.
So what I remember is that the majority of the games that we have lost were not because of Xenix. It could be, but Xenix was not there a lot of times. Like I told you earlier, he kind of took a small break, and then honestly, he also got a new job, so he had a lot of work to do, you know, which made sense. So a lot of these events he could not make. So I do remember we had kind of shifted our lineup a little bit, and Grand didn't want to really play anymore. I think Grand played in one event. That was it. And that event was not it. But the majority of the time it was me, Miles, and Zoom, I believe it was. And then of course Xenix was our main player, but that was like the main team we went with. And I remember that it was hard to fill that gap of Xenix, and you know what? We put up a fight. We gave the teams a run for their money. I will say we at least tried. We just tried beating all these teams that outranked us. I mean, again, you're still playing with me, and then Zoom was really fast, and Miles, he had a lot of great shots, a lot of great redirects. I mean, he was an unknown player going into it, and honestly, again, if we had Xenix, if you would sub me, I would have Xenix play. That team would be so much more deadly. But again, it was just that we kind of didn't have a set team to continue to play every event, and at times we also kind of had to forfeit a couple games.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a hard season as well for Kiyohaku. For a lot of the teams going into season 8 from season 7, it was a really difficult season. Obviously, of course, for me personally, after I picked up Scythe and Legacy after that first event, it was not easy. But I mean, they came in. I think, in my opinion, I'm just gonna add this in here. Icepanther, you are like the most consistent player I think GSCS has ever seen over this past couple of years. So big props to you. You have amazing longevity, probably top 4 of all time, up there with just the Muffin Boys. And that is your only competition, and that is amazing company to be in as well. So amazing longevity. You got there, you won a championship. You played literally almost every single game for your team throughout both of the seasons. So ladies and gentlemen, Q Haku, they're back playing in the GSCS for the 3rd straight season and for the 3rd straight year. Tomorrow and this season, they have something to prove. They are on their revenge tour. They won season 7, they lost season 8. It's season 9. Can they make their comeback, or will it be all fall out to nothing? I hope to see you there, Q Haku. Can you make it work?